I was in my living room watching The Family Feud. Richard Dawson was handing out lollipops to people and kissing all the ladies. Reminded me of a guy I used to know who liked to wait until his girlfriend's time of the month and take a lollipop stick. And I'm not gonna say it. Anyway, the doorbell rang, and when I opened the door, it was a package in front of my house. Well, it was Halloween. I assumed it was a trick-or-treater. I always check my mailbox every day, though. It's just what I do. I used to be a mailman in a past life, according to my therapist. When I opened it, it was a collection of Simpsons DVDs. It had every single episode from seasons 1 through 20. It's a shame they didn't include Futurama in there, though. I thought it was a bit odd. 79 discs in the box, but there was an additional disc in a CD case that came with it. I evaluated the disc's condition before I went inside. I finally decided, okay, it's good to watch. I took one of the discs, put it in my living room's DVD player because we upgraded from VHS ever since I got a job at the cannery. When the main menu came up, there was only one button that said play. Well, I decided to take a lesson from Aerosmith and just push play. No, I didn't like where this was going, and that album could have been better, but I pressed the play button on the remote like a real man. The opening theme played rather normally. The intro was only able to show the shots of Springfield before it stayed at the frame of Bart at the classroom looking at the chalkboard for about 10 seconds. Suddenly, the scene changed into something rather disturbing for a split second before the screen went black for half a minute. The room became totally dark, and Bart was replaced with a naked, red-haired girl with ginormous breasts. Also, there was blood-red writing on the chalkboard that said, "Sacrificing Lisa." Oh, yeah, so at the beginning of the episode, that was totally normal. The Simpson family ate breakfast together. Lisa and Bart had a tug-of-war over a donut, causing the box to rip open. And Homer, who ate the donut, of course, much to Bart and Lisa's disapproval, friggin' pig, read the newspaper. Turned out to be the Season 1 episode Some Enchanted Evening, except the animation was worse than the prototype version, even worse than the Tracy Ullman Show. The episode played, well, fine, I guess, until it got to the part where Marge had enough of Bart's prank calls. Instead of calling the babysitting service, she decided to drop him and Lisa off at Miss Botts's house. Bart and Lisa were very surprised to see Miss Botts's house littered with various colored candles, inverted pentagrams on the walls drawn in blood, inverted crucifixes and occult books. Liber Falsifer. Bart was so scared and turned around to run, but saw Miss Botts carrying a now tied-up Lisa, and pointed a gun at Bart, saying, "Don't even think about it. You will be a pretty addition to our Dark Lord's army." She proceeded to... she proceeded to make out with Lisa, and someone knocked out Bart with a baseball bat. I wanted to stop watching. What the hell was this? I missed Bender's alcoholism and Fry's jokes while he sat on the couch and belched and drank soda that came out of some giant worm's ass. Something compelled me to continue. I mean, it was Halloween, and I didn't feel like talking to any trick-or-treaters because I had a anxiety disorder. Bart woke up and found himself in a forest, tied to a post and surrounded by people in black robes, part of whom he recognized. Burns, Smithers, Jimbo, Dolph, Kearney, Nelson, Miss Botts, Agnes Skinner, and Sideshow Bob. He also saw a cross on the ground, as if they're going to crucify someone. A few moments later, I had the shock of my television show viewing life when they cut Bart open and pulled out his intestines. It was that disturbing, I just face-palmed. This was not Treehouse of Horror, but it was Halloween. Did someone somehow know that I would be viewing this at this time? Some other people arrived, dragging Lisa, who was screaming for help, by a rope around the neck. The priest chanted in an Arabic-sounding language and proceeded to tear off Lisa's dress before sirens wailed. The cops began to yell, but the leader stabbed him 576 times before the devil showed up, growling, "I am here, so give me your souls." And he stole the souls of everyone in the cult using telekinesis, including Lisa's. Homer and Marge arrived home that night with Lisa's dead body. When they got to the backyard, the camera panned on their shocked faces before the screen went totally black. Then the next image really bothered me. Lisa's headless body laid on the sandbog. It stayed that way before static filled the TV screen for a whole minute. The static popped up on screen and it turned a dark red before the scene just disappeared into a black screen. Then a haunting message came up saying, "Hail Satan!" before Bart's face popped up again for a split second, like with a sudden burst of screaming from the speakers, as though it were on max volume. Hail Satan? I turned it down to prevent people to get startled by the noise. The screen went black for a couple minutes, and then it displayed Principal Skinner walking down the street until he found a message on the floor saying, "Follow the path." A bunch of wooden planks with duct tape appeared. He crossed the thing, and he got thrown into Miss Botts's house. Oh, he went upstairs to the bedroom. A wolf with sharp claws and fangs was arbitrarily eating Homer Simpson. A puddle of blood was on the floor. Blood was dripping out of Homer's fat nostrils. Skinner screamed and ran outside, where he saw Lisa's headless corpse. Skinner broke the window, went to the same cross that was in the ground from the previous scene, and the note in a Japanese character. A Japanese character was there that translated to "Die!" The knife from the front door stabbed him in the chest. Blood came out of his chest, and a man wearing a black hoodie stabbed him with the same knife, and Skinner was thrown by the guy into a deep hole where he had blood around his body by the pool. He sucked into the hole. Inside of the hole, he was sucked into the hole. He closed his eyes. He went out of the hole, and he was tied in the same tree where Bart was. The guy appeared behind the same people in black robes, screaming satanically, "Time to die, idiot!" Skinner screamed so hard, worse than if someone found out about the steamed hams. But he had a gun in his hand, and he was walking slowly toward him. And he was shot in the face. Skinner woke up horrified. He was trapped inside Miss Botts's house. The door was locked. No one was in there while the TV was on showing a gay sex scene. He spoke. "Huh? Where is everyone? They're at vacation or somewhere?" And the lights turned off abruptly. He heard a noise coming out of the living room, but the door opened. It was the kids crying. There was a coffin with Bart and Lisa Simpson skeletons, and everything faded to black. He woke up again at a grassy meadow with Bart and Lisa's funeral. Martin and Ralph were crying because of the deaths, and everything faded into black once again, into the meadow at night. Characters from the show were seen crying with a gravestone saying, "R.I.P. Bart and Lisa died because the devil stole their souls." The ghosts of Bart and Lisa were surrounding me, and Skinner was in fear. Skinner woke up again. He was very horrified. It was 5 a.m. He went to the kitchen to make some breakfast and go to the living room to watch TV. He simply had microwaved up some crusty burgers. He heard a knock on his door. Oh my gosh, by golly, it was Miss Botts with blood! Blood coming out of her eyes. She chased around the neighborhood, chased Skinner, before he found a rock and slung it at her like Bart Simpson or the young David. She flipped and flew away into a tree. Then I heard a demonic voice say something.
I will return. You haven't seen the last of me. We have not begun to fight.
Then Skinner looked back. It was Sideshow Bob. He was walking slowly like in the dream. He threw the same rock into him, made him trip. A blood-curdling scream was made, and he stood there peacefully, while blood splattered everywhere and fell off with blood splattering and 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 splattering. Then he came back to his house. Watched some TV, ate some cereal, some Crustios, but what he saw shocked us. It was the redhead girl with the big breasts, looking like she did in the intro, looking at us and smiling. The episode finally ended. The screen cut to static and it cut to the credits. However, it was only listed as written by Nutaku.net. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. That was disgusting. I took the disc out and put it in my computer, and there were two files. The video of the episode, bots.mp4, and a text file, readme.txt. No, I deleted that bots file. I read the text file later, and all it was a link to a website about booty calls. And just so you know, I went and I played myself that Simpsons game just to get the episode off of my mind. But there's no way that I ever could. Hail Saturn!